Tuesday, June 30th at 9:50 a.m. And the Board of Estimate and Contract meeting is called to order. Deputy Clerk, you may call the roll.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Madam Controller Reynolds. Madam City Council President.
Here.
And Mayor Patterson Howard.
Here.
Thank you very much. Our time at roll is 9:46 a.m.
Can I just also say that this is a designated in-person meeting? City Hall reopened last Monday on the 22nd, and so our Board of Estimate and Contract meeting is being done again in person and not via a virtual platform. We are having our meeting and we are able to accomplish social distancing, and so we are in order.
Man, I just want to report that the last meeting that we had, this board received a letter from an attorney making accusations that the comptroller was being muted. And so to avoid any kind of controversy, we made today's meeting in person. The comptroller was aware of it and has chosen, at least today, to not attend.
And that's fine, but like I said, City Hall is back open for business. We do have social distancing in place. We are within all of our proper CDC guidelines. And so we're going to proceed with our Board of Estimate meetings on an in-person basis. And we will continue to broadcast them via Facebook and other ways so that the community can see. And if there are people who have to come before this board, we will allow them to come before this board into the room for like a vote, but we will limit it to one person representing any organization to maintain, again, social distancing. So we can proceed with the agenda.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. We have the agenda, but,
Yeah, we'll start with the bid.
First we have a bid. Thank you. We have a bid. We have a bid for equipment rentals and sewer repair for the City of Mount Vernon, New York. It was advertised in the Journal News on June 13th, 2020, and again on June 17th, 2020. And I have copies of the bids of the advertisements for the record.
And you should read them into the record?
The whole-
With the dates, yes. Not the whole thing, just the dates they were advertised and where they were advertised.
Yes, ma'am. All right. They were advertised in the Journal News and in lowhud.com on Saturday the 13th, and the advertisement read as,
No, you don't have to read the advertisement, just the dates and where it was advertised.
yesterday. And again, it was advertised in the Journal News and lowhud.com on Wednesday, June 17th, 2020.
Thank you.
So I assume that one bid that you have is Amazon Green, because they're the only ones on our list.
Okay, I received the bid from Amazon Zini, and it seems as if it's a no bid. The summary sheet isn't filled out, and I don't see a bid bond, so it's a no bid.
I mean, all the numbers is in,
Excuse me?
all the numbers is in the pages.
It says that summary sheet must be filled out by the bidder.
Well, I think the percentage, I spoke to the money and I said, Fernando, I only need the numbers for per day.
No. You
And
can
there's-
speak to the
and
quote. Oh, sorry.
And I don't see the bid bond.
The bid bond, I spoke to the commissioner and
No.
No, you
You
can-
gotta,
You follow the
You gotta,
instructions.
first
and
off,
it's-
we can waive that. So, it's a no bid.
Okay.
We can move on to the main agenda. We have resolutions approving ordinances. Item number 1, authorizing the mayor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Westchester County Department of Environmental Facilities for solid waste and recyclables disposals for refuge disposal in District 1.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Council President Copeland
Aye.
and Mayor Patterson Howe.
Aye.
Item number 2 is granting the State of New York authority to perform the adjustment for the City of Mount Vernon and agreeing to maintain facilities adjusted via state-led contract, and that applies to the Lincoln Avenue Bridge and Hutchinson River Parkway.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? Hearing none, can you call for the vote?
Council President Copeland
Aye.
and Mayor Patterson Howe.
Aye.
Item number 3 is authorizing the funds of the CHIPS program, that stands for Consolidated Local Streets and Highway Improvement Program, budget line for the amount of $500,000.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? This is not a question, it's just a point of information that I want to put on the record. This is highway paving money. We have an outstanding invoice for $369,000 plus that has been open since 2018. With this invoice being open since 2018, we have currently in our account in the Department of Transportation $1,986,493. We just received from the state of New York an additional $960,760. And I didn't add up for the grand total, but that's going to be about 2.9 million in change that we have. The challenge, because the bills have not been paid by the comptroller for our paving since 2018, we have this $1,986,493 left in the account. The $960,000 that we were just awarded in our June award letter is subject to a potential 20% maximum reduction in the award amount because of COVID-19. And so if we do get a 20% reduction, that will be an impact of $192,140 and leave us with $768,572 for the 2021 year. But the hard hit that we're going to take, because we have a carryover balance from prior years, 2018 and 2019, of $1,986,493, that is also subject to the 20% recoupment because we have a balance. And should we be assessed that 20% recoupment, that is going to impact us by $397,298, which is close to $400,000, which is almost the cost of our delinquent bill. And so the taxpayers of Mount Vernon are going to be hurt. We know that our streets are in very bad condition. The fact that the comptroller has failed to pay bills to our pavers for the past 2 years, leaving us also in a lawsuit that's going to, have fines and penalties attached to it. And we're going to lose almost $400,000 for not spending our money in a timely manner. This is just a double hit to the community, and I just wanted to put this on record. So it's very critical, and I thank the City Council for passing this legislation to create that CHIPS account, because when we spend money out of that account, we're able to bill the New York State Department of Transportation. They reimburse us from this grant line. That money needs to be returned to a specific account and not the general fund, So when it is time for us to pay for the next round of paving, which we have plenty of paving to do, that money will be there and we won't have to find it. And that's the problem. Whenever we have been reimbursed by the state, instead of that money going to a designated account, it's going back to the general fund, and then the controller claims that there's no money available to pay for paving. We put it out, we're reimbursed, it's just the same money cycling, and it is at no cost to the taxpayers. But we do have a very real cut of $397,000 that the city is going to have to absorb now because the controller has failed to give access to DPW and pay paving bills for the past 2 years. So with that, I just wanted that on the record so we would be clear. I have a copy of the letter from the State Department of Transportation with the award notification, as well as the potential assessment of a 20% reduction for current year's funds and funds that were in the rollover account. So, you call for the vote.
Thank you, ma'am. And Council President Copeland, I'll say you.
I forgot, what were we voting on?
Item number 3.
Aye.
And Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 4. Authorizing the Department of Public Works to retain tectonic engineering consultant, geologists, and land surveyors, DPC, for the certification of the remediation of Memorial Field.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? Hearing none.
What was this one? I forgot, what was this one for, Council Rickman? I'm sorry, Madam Chair, no problem. I forgot what was number 4 again?
Well, this is to retain a consultant for Memorial Field to do some testing.
What?
The sign off, the sealed sign off for Memorial Field.
Oh, right. I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Site mediation.
Got it. Oh, am I on the vote?
No,
We're
ma'am.
gonna call for the vote.
We're on discussion of the motion.
So,
You vote?
you can
So,
call for the vote.
thank you. Council President, I'll say you.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Item number 5 is adopting and enacting chapters 268 of the Code of the City of Mount Vernon in its entirety, entitled Independent Council.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question?
So, Co-Counsel, you want to announce Chair?
Well,
Co-Counsel, please.
Well, sure. Basically, I advocated for chapter 268 to be added because there's been a series of actions that have given me cause for concern, and I don't believe that the Corporation Counsel's office is being recognized in the manner in which the charter intended. We have had a couple of frivolous lawsuits that have been filed, and the comptroller and both her attorney have failed to give me any sort of opportunity to work with the comptroller as I believe the charter is intended.
You mean her alleged attorney?
Right. So, I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but so also, and I have no idea how much this person is being paid, the cost to the city, where they're being paid from. It's making it very difficult for me to manage the law department, and it is coming at what I believe to be an astronomical cost to the taxpayer.
There has basically been no accountability. There's been no transparency insofar as her hiring her own personal attorneys to represent her in matters against voluntary boards and other city agencies. The standard process for us obtaining outside counsel or entering into any contracts has just not been followed by the controller, going before the city council, coming before the board of estimate. So there's no accountability, there's no transparency, and we have no clear understanding as to how she is spending the community, the taxpayers' dollars. And so this will rectify it, as it will, strengthen the charter and cause her to have to come in compliance. So
I mean, it's very necessary because since the comptroller refuses to acknowledge my order, my office, there's a lot of things that are being in litigation that don't need to be in litigation.
Absolutely.
If she would have, and so she's paying one attorney at a cost known only to her and him. And for
paying-
wire transfers, both have steadfastly, willfully refused to give me any information about that. And then I have to, in turn, hire one or two lawyers to defend against the actions that I believe are frivolous and not in the best interest of the city. So one day we will know the cost, but today we don't.
And further, we've hired, the council has appropriately hired land use counsel, appropriately approved by this body,
Yes.
funded by escrow accounts, and some funded by our own accounts. The council has money for outside counsel in their budget, and those people have not been paid.
Right.
So basically, we're all being held hostage.
Well, and to add to that, the comptroller currently appears to be having office hours from 9 to 1 Monday through Thursday, and not on Friday. And I've raised the question of whether or not the staff is being paid, because I have staff that are not being paid in accordance with the 2020 salary resolution, myself included. But one particular person who received an upgrade. It is a raise, but it's an upgrade for the value of his work, to which the comptroller and her payroll administrator, Mr. Elton Williams, refused to even answer the question on why they're not paying this person. I also know that in planning, we have a person who is not being paid properly, and the comptroller refuses to address that. So there's a whole host of issues that I believe that are being facilitated by the interference of the independent counsel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. You can call for the vote.
For item number 5, how say you, Council President
Aye.
and Mayor Patterson Howard?
Aye.
Thank you. For item number 6, it's authorizing a transfer of all remaining 2019 funds to fiscal year 2020 in the Department of Veteran Services.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? So for this, I just have to say, our Department of Veteran Services has been decertified. We lost our accreditation in the Department of Veteran Services. That makes it very difficult for us to go after grants, state funding. We lost our certification in the Department of Veteran Services because our Veteran Services Director has not been reimbursed for expenses for the past 2 years, and has to continuously go into her pocket and pay, hundreds of dollars at a time, so that she can go through and complete her training and the paperwork that she needs to do to stay certified. Our Veteran Service Agency is a one-person department, and so when she lost her, did not keep up her training, we became declassified, and again, this is because the controller will not pay the bills and reimburse the monies. Additionally, there are monies and bills that we have accumulated from 2019 that the controller still refuses to pay on behalf of the Veteran Services Administration. So we need this money rolled over into 2019 so it is not lost to the Veteran Services Administration and put in the general fund. And so this is the main reason for this request. But we need to make sure that the bills in the Veteran Services Agency are paid, and we need to make sure that we are providing the financial support for our Veteran Services Director to get her certification so that our accreditation and certification can be returned to the Veteran Service Agency. Our veterans have served us, and we have to be able to serve them. We can't continue this way. So if you can, any questions?
No.
You can call for the vote.
Do they clean your carpet? Because I'm having a terrible reaction to something in here. It's gotta be the carpet. My allergies are active. But anyway, it's fine. Okay. The sooner we can get out of here, better for me, because I'm dying here.
Yes. You can call for the vote.
Council President, how say you?
Aye.
And Mayor Patterson Howard?
Aye.
Item number 7 is authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Career Visions LTD, the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau, Mount Vernon SRAEP program.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? Hearing none, you can call for the vote.
Council President, how say you?
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard?
Aye.
Thank you. And for item number 8, that's authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Career Visions Limited for Youth for Life program.
So moved.
Second. On the question? Hearing none, call for the roll.
Council President Copeland.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 9 is authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Westchester County Department of Senior Programs and Services for Unmet Need Grant.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Council President Copeland.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Item number 10 is amending resolution number 6 adopted on June 10, 2020, entitled "A Resolution Authorizing the Mayor to Accept Receipt of Fiscal Year 2019 Continuum of Care Funds and Execute Grant Funds."
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? Hearing none, please call for the vote.
Council President Copeland.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 11 is amending the resolution number 7 adopted June 10, 2020, entitled "A Resolution Authorizing the Mayor to Approve and Authorize Submission of the 2020 to 2024 Consolidated Plan and the 2020 to 2021 Annual Action Plan and expenditure of Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership Program, and Emergency Solution Grant Funds from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development."
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Council President Copeland
Aye.
and Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Thus ends your agenda, Madam.
Did you have something?
I mean, I
Don't you
guess,
have an event, something, don't you have something today?
yeah, we have an event at 1. We have an
So-
event at 1. But so the one thing that I really want to just say as a point of information for the public is that the New York State Title Insurance Association, as we've seen in the LoHUD News, send a letter to my office and to my attention, letting me know that they are greatly reducing and/or suspending. There are different companies, title companies, that have chosen to suspend to do business with the city of Mount Vernon because of the comptroller's office's failure to process transfer taxes. This has a great impact on residents being able to sell their homes, or other people who are looking to move into the community to buy homes that might also even be vacant. It impacts the economic flow and stability of our community. We have people who are very interested in moving into our community, and this really impedes that process. And so we want the public to be informed. We are reaching out to the governor's office, the state comptroller's office, and continuing to inform them of her dereliction of duties. Again, this is not about politics. This is about the economic stability of our community and the comptroller's office's continued failure to perform the basic tasks that are required. Another issue that we have, and our residents did receive, our homeowners received information via postcard in the mail, is that the school board has now taken over the collection of taxes for the school district, and they've taken this responsibility away from the city of Mount Vernon, again, for the comptroller's failure to collect and transfer monies over to the school district in a timely fashion. And so the school district is taking over that responsibilities. That will have an economic impact. While we did not charge the school district to perform these duties, we did benefit from interest from delinquent tax payments, and that was to the tune of several $millions a year, which will be revenue lost for the city. So it is a real financial impact to the city. The comptroller's office had the responsibility of not only collecting the taxes, but transferring the taxes and giving accurate and timely reporting. And while she might be able to go back to a lawsuit a few years ago that shows that she gave reporting in whatever way she gave reporting, it's still not necessarily based on best accounting principles. And so this is a vote of no confidence from our school district, which has a heavy percentage of our taxes here in the city, which has now been removed. And, so I believe that we're going to have to look at a reduction in staff. If you are no longer collecting these taxes and you no longer have the responsibility for transferring this over, then there needs to be the requisite reduction in staff in that department to note the change in the volume of work, because that is a reduction in the volume of work. And in these times when we need to make fiscally responsible decisions, we need to take a look at that immediately.
So I have a few things. First, the council is looking for residents to volunteer for the Cable Advisory Board.
Yes.
That all the terms, the current people, they're no longer current because they've all expired, so we're looking for that. So please send your resume to the clerk's office. We're also looking for members to serve on the Taxi Cab Commission. Also send those resumes into the city clerk's office. I believe the mayor has 2 appointments there.
2 appointments.
And then the council has, I think, 3, and most of the people on it are statutory, the city clerk, the police commissioner, and one other, and the chair must be an attorney. So if you're interested in serving on that, the council also will be advertising for the position of city clerk. Now that we're open, we can do that. So you can look on the website and send in your resume to the Department of Human Resources. If you're interested in serving in that capacity, we'll be interviewing there. And my most exciting thing to date, I had our legislative aide doing some research, and the council is going to be forming an audit committee, partly composed from the Finance and Planning Committee, but we're certainly looking for members from the public for that. So if you're interested and you have a financial background, you could also submit those resumes to the office of the city clerk.
What is the audit committee going to do?
Well, that'll be on the, further information will be coming forward, but since I had a captive audience, I felt like I should put it out there.
And so since we're going to do that, the city of Mount Vernon is also looking for a commissioner of management services, an IT director and administrator, a planning commissioner, an IDA director, a planning administrator, as well as a senior planner, and a land use secretary. So those are some of the key positions that are open in the city of Mount Vernon. A lot of those are our economic drivers, and we need to fill those positions because these are revenue generating positions that help Mount Vernon not only perform our statutory duties, but also to bring money into the city of Mount Vernon. So we're looking for.
And those job descriptions are available in the civil service office, except the audit committee. That will be coming forward within the next few days. While I'm recuperating, I'll have stuff to do.
Well,
But
I
I
would
was saying we have,
We're also looking for
For
attorneys.
Yeah, we're looking for attorneys specifically with land use and labor experience. We would
relations.
like to have someone with those 2 levels of expertise we're looking at particularly. And then generally, if you're a general practice, you can still send your resume in for consideration.
and I would say for the record, if the council didn't get on my nerves earlier, I would have said it at that meeting, but since we're here, I want to commend the deputy clerk who's been holding it down through this period and really, managing the office and the council, which is a job in itself. So I commend him for that, but now we need to, advertise
And open back
and
up.
open back up fully, so we need to get some bodies in here to do some work and to take some stuff off of him. So I want to thank you though, Mr. Holmes, for your professionalism under very difficult circumstances with some very difficult people, including me sometimes. I admit my faults. Listen, I'm the first
Trial by
one.
fire in City Hall.
Listen,
We get it done.
baptism by fire.
That's the only way.
Right. We
It's
get it
all,
done.
it's all good, it's all.
But I've known you a long time, so you know not to take it personally. So if you did, then you'll get over it. Anyway,
So just before we close, Council President, I want to say that please know that we are praying for you.
thank you.
We will be here for you as
Thank
you
you.
recuperate.
Thank you.
And let us know what you need and how we can support. And we look forward to having a basketball game in the next few months in Hartley Park. You and I will do,
Who you gonna get?
I'm playing.
You and who?
I'm playing. I got games.
Oh,
Man,
man.
I play
Here we
hard.
go, here we go.
Mark this on the tape. Mark this on the tape.
I have an outside shot.
Y'all think the DA's race was a beatdown? Any other? Oh, I'm out of order for that. Am I out of order for that?
You're out of order.
I apologize.
President, can you
Oh.
call for the adjournment?
With pleasure.